What up? We are at Sonic right now in C-Town. Is that what they call it?
No.
What do they call
it? Calhoun.
Has she ever been on camera? So yeah, I went to the doctor today. Also using the GoPro. Haven't used it, like I said, in a while. And gonna test the audio on it. Last video, I'm sure you could tell the audio was crazy. So I may ixnay that's microphone. It's not a bad microphone if I'm still, but when I start moving around, you heard all the static and stuff. So just kind of going for a cruise. Went to the doctor.
Your baby's moving.
I felt my baby move last night. Crazy stuff. I don't know how to explain it.
Your baby's moving again. Stop.
What? Say it to the camera.
Your baby's moving.
Where?
Right here.
Good.
If you're a teacher, you know why I don't want to talk about school. It's November.
Alright. Stay organized. Remember, organize. Don't do stuff that's spinning your wheels. And going into your 4th month. What tips you got from TA to teacher?
I've learned. You've helped me. I learned from the other teachers, but everyone has to find their own way of doing things. I will say that. You do what makes sense to you. But like you said, you could do what makes sense to you, but also listen to what other people have to say, because you might find stuff really helpful, like making a downtime schedule. Something you don't probably have to think about in other jobs is like, how am I going to plan my downtime? But as a teacher, it's so helpful. I feel like you figured that out and you taught that to me, and that was one of the biggest things that helped me when I first started, and even now. It's like, plan what you will do during your conference period and do that. Don't accept emails or phone calls, because they will always be there. So on your conference period, do the stuff that you don't want to do in the middle of the night when you're tired and you want to go to bed and watch Netflix, like planning lessons. I don't have to do much grading as a SPED teacher, that's one thing. I don't know if it balances out being gen ed or SPED or not, but SPED immensely throws 200% more paperwork at you, but it takes out the grading part of everything. So I don't know which I don't think it balances out. I think SPED is still up here in terms of paperwork.
Thank you.
Yeah, have a wonderful day today.
You too.
This is a good treat.
Daddy has a treat.
I gave Grizzly a treat.
Give her her treat. Daddy is
That's for me.
Daddy is your treat.
What's up, YouTube land? It is Saturday, October 17th, 1 week from my B-Day. And we're here. We made our move. Next stop in the Veasan family adventure, I should say. Jen is doing some work. As y'all know, as a teacher, you're always working, right? Here's how we're spending our Saturday morning. Drinking some coffee. Jen had a few snacks. And she is now, you're 20 weeks, right?
21.
21 weeks. We technically know the sex of the baby, but we're having the gender reveal. So we'll know in about 4 to 5 weeks, Beldar or Connie. Or, can you whistle? Whistle. Whistle. If any of you know the reference. So another thing I wanted to touch on, if you guys are into podcasts at all, or as I will always say to me later when I'm listening and watching this, we heard this podcast. I was listening to 90.5 in Austin. I think it's NPR radio. But there's a show that got aired on there called This American Life, specifically 668, The Long Fuse. A couple of stories, which, if you know anything about me, I love a story. One of the stories there was about 2 cyclists, and I don't want to ruin the story, but basically there was an agreement about who was going to win. kind of like a Ricky Bobby-ish, if you will, you know, with the shake and bake move. The story isn't anywhere near as funny, but things got twisted and it like kind of spun out of control, and it really affected these two guys' lives. You know, in the end, it just really struck me. This guy was just struggling with like internal redemption or like making things right on the inside. And it seemed like all of these things had also like gone right, but also spun out of control. And through like 15 years or 20 years later, right? This guy still had to go back and make this thing right. And you could tell it was like eating at him. And so I think what really got and stuck out to me was the fact that at the end of it, I mean, this guy wanted to make it right for, if you boil it down, it is selfish reasons, right? But it was just that idea of getting redemption, you know, and not necessarily like revenge, not at all, but just redemption, or like internal redemption and just resolving the issue and making things right. It's cool. Wherever you're at, whoever you are, and me later, just think about that. You know, there's always redemption, right? So yeah, took a break with editing and all that. Just the past few weeks have been crazy, so that's why we've been a bit dark on the internet, even on our Instagram page, even though we're trying to be a bit more active on it. Just had a lot going on. Took a day off here or there, just to, you know, personally get everything together. Yeah, but I think we're kind of a bit more settled now, or we're in the process of getting a little more settled, and going to try to be more active on here again. And I'll talk to you next time. Peace. Say peace. Okay. Sit.
You got treat.